broadcasts that I'm rearing through and see how they're doing. Last time we did a broadcast here, at least I think 2 of them had turned into pupa. So we'll have a look and see what else has happened, whether any other, when there were still caterpillars or whether they're all pupa. And then, depending on if time allows, we'll go for a quick walk and see what we can see around the woods. So I will turn the camera around. And we're here at my invertebrate rearing shed where we raise caterpillars and a few other forms of insect. And we've got here on the floor the rearing container that had these caterpillars in it. So we'll have a look here and see what's happening. Bit challenging to do all this one-handed whilst holding a camera, so you have to bear with some rather weird images. Okay, I can see at least one that's still a larva, still a caterpillar. So the plant they've been feeding on, the plant we found them on, is some form of sallow, salix or willow, something in that family. And that's what I've continued to provide them with as a food source. I do need a glamorous assistant, Fiona. Actually, just an assistant with a pair of hands would do. Glamour would be an optional extra. So, what we can see in here, that's bizarre, is there is one of the pupa. Let me zoom in a little bit. This one is sort of a slightly reddish colour. It's probably fairly freshly formed. I think that's probably one that became a pupa yesterday, because another 3, which are down here, my hands are in the way, okay, this label is in the way, there we go, they've sneakily hidden underneath the label here. Let's zoom back out, shall we? Get a wider view, and there are 3 pupa down there, which, as you can see, are a bit darker in colour. And then there's one caterpillar here, which hasn't yet formed up into a pupa. It's still larval, which is perhaps interesting. There's a bit of variety. So over the course of a week or so, they're in different stages. And you can also see here the shed skin, the larval exuvia, of the ones that have pupated. So these are the skins that they've shed. And what I'm going to do very quickly is just grab something to temporarily hold these in. Just grab a little pot. Just to temporarily put them in so I can clean out the container. Because as you can possibly see down there as well, there are a lot of bits of frass or caterpillar droppings. And if that's left for too long, that they can putrefy, start to rot, and just cause a problem with rearing on the caterpillars. So if I shake them out, then I can put the pupa and the larva back in. I'll remove that shed skin there, put some food plant back in for the one that's still a caterpillar, and they can continue on. There was a lot of frass in there. They do produce a lot of droppings, caterpillars. So that was them. I can put them back in the shed, leave them in there, and have a look a bit later on. And since that didn't take very long, have a quick walk into the wood and see if there's anything particular to see. Just put a few more bits down and then we'll make a start wandering. Right, so we'll walk through into the woods. Quite sunny at the moment, but it's been quite intense showers off and on all day. Fairly typical autumn weather really. So take advantage of the somewhat nicer weather to have a quick wander around, see what else there is to see. Yes, parakeets shouting. Plenty of them. Not much water in this pond though. These woodland ponds can be quite interesting. That although there's been a lot of water down, this one's remaining dry or just muddy. Probably because all the trees are still going and still respiring, still taking the water up. So although the water's falling down, not a lot of it's saturating through the ground and going into the pond. You just sort of kind of picture it. Oh well, good luck with the walk tomorrow. For those who don't know Fiona, that I'm assuming is a moth trap that she's set up. We went to locate some willow emerald. Damselflies, yes. Excellent. Are they recent arrivals to your area? So willow emerald damselfly, which Fiona's mentioned, is a fairly recent colonist to the United Kingdom. Fiona and I went and sought out one of the early ones at one of the sites where they arrived first a few years ago. We made a trip to go and see them because they were really scarce and hard to see. I've seen several this year. I've seen them right in central London. We had some on one of the broadcasts here on Haps. You can see the woods at the moment aren't particularly an autumnal colour. Everything is still relatively green and summery. Give it a few weeks or a month or so and things will certainly have started to turn though. Let's go through the field. That's probably the easiest way today. Where I'm going to go. here. Yeah, quite a bit more water in this pond, rather covered with pondweed. So I'd say the water level here is up, which is kind of what you'd expect with the amount of water that's been down. Could still hold a lot more though, so by no means is it full. And you can probably see just the remains there, the seed heads of yellow flag iris. Going up to one more of the ponds. Butterfly here. Oh no, dragonfly, sorry. There's a common darter damselfly. Quite hard to make out, I suspect, but it's on that brown leaf that's vaguely in the centre of your screen, he says confidently. No, it's not. It's on this brown leaf that's vaguely in the centre of your screen. This is a common darter. Type of dragonfly. Enjoying the sunlight and water. Seems quite unbothered about being on camera. Look at it from a different angle. Pretty sure it's common anyway. Don't think it's ruddy darter, which is rare, slightly less common. Tends to be much more bright red than this. Anyway, common darter. Rather impressive creatures, dragonflies. Don't often sit still like this for me to point a camera at them. Anyway, we'll wander on. Have a look at the pond. The migrant hawker dragonfly just flew over as well. Didn't go anywhere near the camera though. So another pond here, quite a big reed bed on this pond. One of the management tasks for this site is controlling the reeds and stopping them, filling the pond in and eventually turning it back into dry land, which is what happens, perfectly natural process, but we want to keep some of the open water areas as a type of habitat in the reserve, so we do hack back at these reeds a bit and just try and make them a bit less intense. Leaf mine on bramble. We think I would think this is almost certainly the micro moth Stigmella orella. This caterpillar basically lives between the top and the bottom surface of the leaf, eats out the leaf from the inside, so it eats all the green material on the inside and leaves these patterns on the surface of the leaf. And here we've got one of the nice ivy, not even fully out in bloom yet here, and therefore provides a nice. It tends to bloom quite late in the year, so find something on it to have a look at. This isn't, but with any luck, we'll find something flying around on it. Well, there was a that is particularly associated with the the moth fly or owl midge or drain fly. They have a variety of called associated with the sort of damp site there is plenty of, which in this rather marshy bit of there's a wasp flying around. See if I can see anything. See if anything perches up, so we can have a look at it. Not really. Some. So plenty of ivy. There's a fly flying. Is it going to settle? I'm not going to be able to identify this, and the camera doesn't seem to want to focus on it at the moment. If I go a bit closer, it'll have no choice but to focus. Some kind of fly, anyway. You can see a few wasps zipping around the top, but I can't see any perched up where we can have a better look at them just yet. Another quick look. When we get near that. Probably not. Right, there's a wasp here, which you might just briefly see visiting that ivy blossom. Didn't manage to see which species it was. And then there's another fly, probably a mosquito of some kind, visiting. Perhaps it's a hoverfly, actually, looking at it. It might be a hoverfly of some kind. So, yes, the ivy is a great nectar source late in autumn. And I'm going to end the broadcast, I think, here, focused on this fly, just for some insect to end the broadcast on. There we go. There's another.